Today Orlando starts now with breaking news.
Okay, we were in a club and we heard gunshots. Bop, 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 bop. That's all I heard. And then everybody started running. That's all the security was like, run, 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 run.
A mass shooting in downtown Orlando overnight. Orlando police confirming 2 people were killed, 6 others were hit by gunfire. After that overnight shooting, it happened in 2 separate locations downtown. Only one suspect, though, that they believe who did all of that, a 17-year-old now in custody. And that is our top story this morning. Thanks for being here for our 8 o'clock hour. I'm Amy Kaufeld.
And I'm Daniel Knox. It is good to see you this morning. If you've been with us, you know that we have been following this story all morning long. And here's what we know right now. Video captured by one of our downtown cameras shows thousands of people running as they gathered for Halloween celebrations. Police say they first got reports of shots fired just after 1 a.m. near Orange Avenue and Central Boulevard.
Minutes later, police received a second report of shots fired near Orange Avenue and Washington, and that is where they tackled the 17-year-old suspect. His name is Jalen Edgar. 6 victims were taken to Orlando Regional Medical Center. We are told that they are in stable condition. According to Police Chief Eric Smith of Orlando, more than 100 officers were in the downtown area trying to keep things secure.
We are bringing you live team coverage this morning. Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie is outside ORMC this morning, but we do want to begin with our own Marley Capper, who joins us live from downtown Orlando near the scene. Good morning to you, Marley.
Good morning. I want to point a few things out. Right on the ground in front of me, there's some candy. This is what you expect to see on Halloween night. This is what you don't expect to see. Shoes. This is a heel right here. There was some flip-flops and sandals over there. This paints a terrifying picture of people having to run for their lives in the streets of downtown Orlando. Take a look at this video. There's a blur on your screen. Right by that blur, you can see the suspect shoot into the crowd and see the people run away. Then look at this video when the suspect shoots into the crowd a second time. You can see the 2 police trucks lined up. The suspect is in a yellow shirt and runs in the bottom right corner. You can see it circled on your screen, police taking him down. And lastly, I want to show you this video of thousands of people running for their lives. It's estimated between 50,000 to 100,000 people were down here to celebrate Halloween. Here's what some witnesses had to say.
Okay, we were in a club and we heard gunshots. Bop, 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 bop.
It's scary. We're trying to leave now. Like, we don't want to be down here no more. We're not coming outside no more.
Certain clubs were kicking people out. Certain clubs were locking everyone in.
Definitely very terrifying moments. Here's another one of those sandals here that you can see. And I want to point down here, a lot of the bikes have been pushed over. There has been people going up and standing them upright. But again, that paints the picture of how terrified and chaotic things were when people were trying to run through the streets here. Now, I want to mention the teen. Police tell us that he wasn't down here for too long. They also told us that he was arrested in 2023 for grand theft. So that's going to be considered when thinking about if he's going to be charged as an adult or a minor. But for now, reporting live in Orlando, Marley Capper, Fox 35 News.
Marley, thank you. And our live team coverage continues now with Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie.
And Amanda joins us from outside Orlando Regional Medical Center this morning, where several of the victims were rushed to last night or in the early morning hours. Amanda, good morning to you.
Yeah, all of this happening on Halloween night. 6 of those 8 total victims were transported here to the emergency room at ORMC, which is just a little bit more than a mile down the same road from where Marley was reporting. So that gives you an example of just how far away and how close it was to this area. Now, we're told that the 6 victims are being treated for gunshot wounds and are stable, but that's a very broad term for a condition. So it's unclear if they're cooperating or even able to cooperate with investigators at this time. I did ask the Orlando police chief if these victims were known to the suspect, and he says right now that is still all under investigation. But last night during Halloween celebrations, an estimated 100,000 people were gathered in downtown Orlando, and there were about 100 officers working detail. Several officers were just feet away from the gunman when the shooting happened and were able to capture him and take him into custody. Here is what Orlando Police Chief Eric Smith had to say about the instant response.
As soon as they heard the shots fired, you can watch any of these videos. None of the officers, went the other way. They didn't go with the crowd. Most of them, got a little bit of cover between them. They started scanning, seeing what was going on, and then they moved. They took action to keep everybody else safe, and that's what these officers do, and that's their job, and they did it, and I'm very proud of them.
None of the officers fired their weapons. Police say they are assessing the need for increased patrols in downtown this weekend. Right now, the identities of the victims have not yet been released, especially for the 2 victims that were killed. The police are still working on notifying their families, but right now the motive is still unclear as to why this 17-year-old suspect opened fire, killing 2 people and injuring 6 others on Halloween night. Reporting live in downtown Orlando, Amanda McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
All right, Amanda, thanks so much for that. And we are working to learn more about what happened in the moments before the shooting. You can watch the full press conference with Orlando Police Chief Eric Smith on our Fox Local app. And we do invite you to stay with us right here all morning long as we continue to receive updates. Now at 8:06, let's turn our attention to the weather. Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, we've got a pleasant day of weather today. Much like yesterday, it'll be breezy and fairly nice. Just a couple of passing showers, 68 degrees and fog right now in Ocala. Kind of a light fog, making for a very pretty composition photographically, but it may have some impacts on us on the roads. If you drive through a low spot, there's a dip and the fog gets a little bit thicker. Now here in Orlando, there's no fog to report, just a pristine view of Lake Fairview, not a ripple on the water. The winds are calm here in Orlando. Live view from the Grills Lakeside camera, 68 degrees currently. We're on the way today to 85. Everything's quiet right now on Fox 35 Storm Tracker radar, but there are some showers moving in from the southeast. So in Brevard County and along the beaches, Indialantic up to Satellite Beach, wouldn't be surprised if we had a little bit of rain here for a brief time this morning. The rain chance today overall, though, is 20%. So unlike yesterday, we have a little bit more coverage out there. We had a couple of showers yesterday, but today should be a little bit more. 67 at 8 and 85 by 3. So as you pick up the kids on this Friday afternoon, whether it's at the bus stop or at school, it's going to be a little bit on the warm side for them, but otherwise pretty nice. All right, this is new for 8 o'clock and coming up in your full forecast. We're going to track this in detail. The National Hurricane Center is now forecasting a high chance for development in the Caribbean Sea over the next 7 days for the season's next tropical system. Where it may go and the impacts we may experience here in Florida coming up. First off, though, it is Sky Fox traffic time with Deborah. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Brooks. So we do have a crash on I-95 as you're going southbound, just as you're passing the Bonita Causeway and approaching Lake Washington Road. So I want to go ahead and give you a different camera view this morning so you can see what we're looking at here. So it looks like the crash is possibly off to the right-hand shoulder. It looks like there is a trooper there, but it is causing a lot of slowdowns, actually in both the southbound and the northbound lane. So just a heads up there. Let's take a look, though, at our 408 cameras right now where you can see traffic-wise things are moving. 408 at I-4. Not too many issues. Looks like just on I-4 eastbound there. And then also as you're approaching the downtown Orlando Metro right at Crystal Lake Drive, you'll notice some slowdowns in that spot. But otherwise, the 408 is moving smoothly this morning. And here's your drive time delays right now. 408 westbound, 417 over to downtown, a 2-minute delay. I-4 eastbound from US 27 over to downtown, you're looking at a 35-minute delay there. At Daytona to Orlando, you're looking at a 5-minute delay on I-4 westbound. All right, I'll send things back to you ladies at the desk.
Thank you so much. Developing this morning, Orlando Magic star Paolo Banchero is out indefinitely due to a torn right oblique. So he suffered that injury Wednesday night. It happened in the fourth quarter against the Chicago Bulls. The team says he will be reevaluated in about 4 to 6 weeks before they announce any idea on a possible return date. Of course, we wish him a swift recovery.
Absolutely. And this is the new mugshot for the bail bondsman accused of human trafficking. 75-year-old Russell Moncrief is now sitting in the Orange County Jail with no bond. Moncrief is accused of demanding sex from female inmates in exchange for bonding them out. Moncrief has multiple locations in Central Florida, including offices in Orange, Osceola, and Brevard counties.
This morning, we are leading the way with breaking news. We have a mass shooting in downtown Orlando. It happened just hours ago, leaving 2 people dead, 6 others hurt with gunshot wounds. They were all rushed to the hospital, and they are all now in stable condition. And a 17-year-old boy is in custody. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Much more on that story throughout the morning right here on Good Day Orlando.
Fox 35 7-day forecast is brought to you in part by 2020 Eyeglass Superstore.
It is 8:14. We do want to welcome you back as we let you know we do continue to follow breaking news. You're looking at video here right now of just mass chaos in the streets of downtown Orlando after a shooting there. A 17-year-old suspect is in custody after the shooting in downtown. The call came in around 1:07 a.m. We can tell you that 2 people are dead. 6 others are hurt. They are in stable condition at ORMC right now. We will, of course, continue to bring you the very latest updates on this breaking news story throughout the course of the morning. All right, let's turn our attention now to our weather. Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner standing by with that. Brooks.
Good morning, Danielle. Well, we've got a pretty warm day on the way today. It's not going to be hot, but it's not going to be cool either. 85 degrees in Orlando by forecast high, 83 Melbourne, 81 in Daytona, and 84 degrees in the Villages. We'll have partly cloudy skies, a busy breeze coming in off of the Atlantic Ocean between about 10 and 15 miles per hour, and the chance for a few showers. Our rain chance today is at 20%. A live view from the Hard Rock Hotel cam reveals a really gorgeous shot of Daytona Beach with the Pelicans on their morning patrol. A few folks combing what's left of the beach during this almost high tide at 8:30, and it's going almost all the way up to the seawall. A combination of relentless onshore flow, some high surf, and astronomically high tides contributing to that lack of beach. And that's also going to contribute to a high risk for rip currents through the day today with 3 to 5 foot waves. After the high tide today at 8:30, we've got a low tide close to 3 p.m. So as the tide goes out, that's when our rip current risk will be highest. Well, speaking about a high risk, the National Hurricane Center as of 8 a.m. has issued a high risk zone for the Western Caribbean for the development of a tropical system coming up here over the next 7 days. There's also a lower chance here of a tropical wave moving north of Puerto Rico of potential development, but it looks like these may actually kind of mingle together to create a large scale, broad and disorganized area of low pressure, but of tropical origin, which may have a lot of rain with it. So there are a lot of unknowns right now because, frankly, the system hasn't formed yet. There's nothing to track. The system could form this weekend. The expected system, I should say, could bring rain late next week to Florida. We'll have to see. The track has changed a little bit based on the position of some surrounding weather systems, but there's nothing imminent at this time. By the way, our hurricane season goes until the end of this month. Sometimes you can get storms outside of the hurricane season, but these are the months between June 1st and November 30th that we're most likely to see activity. And this time of year, late in the season, the Caribbean is the expected area to watch. That's where the water is still warm and the conditions in the atmosphere are still favorable. There's the tropical wave north of Puerto Rico, but notice how we're devoid of anything here in the Caribbean. This is all being driven by computer models and the computer model forecast for a likelihood here in the southern Caribbean, southwestern Caribbean of development. So what does that mean for us? Well, the ocean heat content is high in this region and in red supportive of a tropical system to be born, develop, and get strong. But as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico, the ocean heat content in November, and specifically today, is very low. And so if something was to move into the Gulf, it would likely weaken or fall apart, especially when it encounters wind shear to the north. That said, a protective area of high pressure that earlier looked like it would deflect whatever may form is actually going to be drifting a little bit farther east off of the eastern seaboard, allowing a bit of an opening to enhance the possibility, anyway, that low pressure could skirt west of Tampa Bay. Not unlike the track we saw previously this year with Debbie and Helene. Now, it's impossible to say if that's going to happen because we don't have a storm to track yet, and we won't know it's going to happen until there's an area of low pressure to track because, well, if it forms in the southern Caribbean Sea versus, say, off of Puerto Rico, or it forms north of Colombia instead of Cancun, I mean, that'll have huge implications, obviously, on where this goes. Also, it's important when this forms because you've got all the surrounding weather systems that can affect its steering. But the general theme is that we're going to see low pressure slowly developing as we head toward the end of next week, possibly bringing rainy impacts to our region by Thursday. So here's my 7-day forecast. Mid-80s as far as the eye can see with some scattered showers. Tomorrow about a 40% chance. We fall back for the end of daylight saving time, 2 a.m. on Sunday. That means a sunrise at 6:39 and a sunset at 5:38 p.m. Election day looks to be pretty good, and then that rain chance late next week. Well, it's time for our forecast this morning, and this shot sent to us by Amber in Port Orange of her dog. And that pup loves the pool and barking at chickens. Who doesn't like barking at chickens? That's a good pastime. Well, we love featuring dog photos, cat photos, you name it. Send it in to fox35orlando.com/furcast. Oh yeah, Deborah, you should see us in Oviedo. We bark at the chickens all day long.
I was literally saying to myself, Brooks, you probably do this all the time in Oviedo. Good morning, everybody. Taking a look this morning at one of our crashes that I've been monitoring. This one is on I-95 as you're going southbound, just as you pass the Bonita Causeway, just as you're approaching Lake Washington Road. So just a heads up there, you might notice some slowdowns. You can actually see it in this camera here. It's off to the right-hand shoulder, but it is causing people to slow down both in the south and also in the northbound directions. Taking a look at our 6 cameras on the beach line this morning, where you can see traffic-wise, things are flowing. So from I-Drive to Turnpike at the airport, 417, 520, and Satellite Boulevard, no issues to report on the beach line this morning in either of the west or the eastbound directions. And your drive times, we have a little bit of everything this morning. So Daytona to Orlando, not too bad. You're looking at a 3-minute delay. From US 27 to downtown, you're looking at a 32-minute delay. And then on the 408 westbound from 417 over to downtown, just a 2-minute delay. So nothing too bad to report this morning. Let's go and take a look, though, at our pump patrol prices. We have 301 at the 7-Eleven. This is on North John Young Parkway in Kissimmee. Head over to our website. It's fox35orlando.com. Click on that More tab, and you'll see the traffic page where we do have the pump patrol prices labeled. Okay, I'll send things back to you, Amy.
It is now 8:21. This morning, we are leading the way with this breaking news: a mass shooting in downtown Orlando, leaving 2 people dead and 6 others injured. They are at hospitals or RMC Regional. Those 6 victims were rushed to the hospital. They are right now in stable condition. We can also tell you that a 17-year-old suspect is in custody right now. This is a breaking news story we continue to follow. Stay with us. Good Day Orlando continues.
Good Day Orlando is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome back. New details about a former Disney employee accused of hacking into the company's online menu system.
He allegedly made changes to the menus after he was fired from the park. His name is Michael Schur. He is facing federal charges this morning for adding profanity to the menus, changing food prices, and altering allergy warnings to make people believe some items were safe to eat. Schur was terminated from his job as menu production manager at Disney in early June. Investigators believe he kept logging into the system, though, through a private network and caused chaos through September.
Just because you don't have the same machine doesn't mean you can't access the same service. So he must have kept some information about how to access that VPN remotely, whether it's from a work computer or a different computer.
Investigators also accuse Schur of repeatedly trying to log into his former co-workers' accounts as well. Disney says that his actions cost them tens of thousands of dollars. He will be in court next week. It is now 8:26, and coming up at 8:30, we are staying on top of that big breaking news story of the morning.
We are talking about a mass shooting in downtown Orlando that it left 2 people dead. 6 other people are in the hospital this morning with gunshot wounds. They are listed in stable condition, and a 17-year-old boy is in custody. The latest on this coming up in our next half hour right here on Good Day Orlando.
Good Day Orlando starts now with breaking news.
And we are following breaking news downtown Orlando. Look at this surveillance video showing the panic on the night of Halloween. 2 people were shot and killed. 6 others were hit by gunfire in downtown. It is our top story this morning. Thank you for being here. It's now 8:30. I'm Amy Kaufeld.
And I'm Danielle Knox. We have been following this story for you all morning long. We are bringing you live team coverage. Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie is outside ORMC this morning. But we do want to begin with our own Marley Capper, who joins us live from downtown Orlando this morning. And Marley, good morning to you.
Ladies, good morning. The streets are back open as if nothing happened. I'm here at Wall Street, and you can see they have the big Halloween sign. And if you peer down Wall Street Plaza, you can see that the bars here are still cleaning up. Earlier, this whole green area was covered in cups and trash and confetti. That's been the same theme at all of the bars. And I peered in the windows. They didn't have time to clean up last night because people were running for their lives down the streets of Orlando. Take a look at this video. There's a blur on your screen. Right by that blur, you can see the suspect shoot into the crowd and see the people run away. Then look at this video when the suspect shoots into the crowd a second time. You can see the two police trucks lined up. The suspect is in a yellow shirt and runs in the bottom right corner. You can see it circled on your screen, police taking him down. And lastly, I want to show you this video of thousands of people running for their lives. It's estimated between 50,000 to 100,000 people were down here to celebrate Halloween. Here's what some witnesses had to say.
Okay, we were in a club and we heard gunshots. Bop, 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 bop.
It's scary. We're trying to leave now. Like, we don't want to be down here no more. We're not coming outside no more.
Certain clubs were kicking people out. Certain clubs were locking everyone in.
The suspect has been named as 17-year-old Jalen Dwayne Edgar. And right now I'm in the middle of Wall Street. Like I said, to my left is Central, to my right is Washington. The first shooting happened to my left, the second to my right. Now, police tell us that he wasn't here downtown for long. We also learned that back in 2023, he was arrested for grand theft. So that's going to be taken into consideration when deciding if he's going to be charged as a minor or as an adult. But for now, reporting live in downtown Orlando, Marley Capper, Fox 35 News.
Marley, thank you. And our live team coverage now continues.
Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie joining us live this morning from the hospital. And Amanda, good morning to you. What do you know so far from there?
Well, we just received an update from Orlando Health just minutes ago about the condition of the victims that were transported here just a little bit more than a mile down the road from where that shooting happened. They confirmed of the people taken here, a total of 9 patients. 1 man died, 1 man in critical but stable condition, 1 female critical but stable, 4 females stable, and 2 females were discharged from the hospital. The description of stable, it is a broad term when it comes to a condition, so it is still a little unclear as to whether these patients or victims have been able to cooperate with investigators during this time. Now, we also know that they were between the ages of 19 and 39 years old. I did ask the police chief if these victims were known to that 17-year-old shooting suspect, and he said this is all still under investigation. Now, there were as many as 100,000 people in downtown when shots broke out, and more than 100 officers were working detail. Several officers were just feet away from the gunman when the shooting happened and were able to capture him and take him into custody. Here's what Orlando Police Chief Eric Smith had to say about the instant response.
This is something that we can't do alone. I mean, I could put 200 officers down there, and like you saw in the video, he walked by multiple officers. He didn't really care. So it does start outside of what my job is. It starts, you know, and I don't want to say it starts in the home, but it starts in our community coming together to work together and figure out a better way for people to solve their problems.
No officers fired their weapons. Police also add that they are assessing the need for increased patrols in downtown this weekend. As far as the number of victims killed, we are working to get clarification on that because the hospital is reporting that of the 9 people taken here, 1 man died. Originally, the Orlando Police Department told us that there were a total of 8 victims with 2 killed in the gunfire. So we are working to get more information, but right now the identities of these victims are not being released while police are working to notify their families. Reporting live in downtown Orlando, Amanda McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
All right, Amanda, thanks so much for that. And we are working to learn more about what happened in the moments before the shooting. You can watch the full press conference with Orlando Police Chief Eric Smith on our Fox Local app. We do invite you to stay with us right here all morning long as we continue to receive updates. 8:34, let's turn our attention to the weather. Brooks, good morning.
Good morning, Danielle. Well, we've got a mostly sunny start to the day today. Here's a live view from the Hard Rock Hotel cam in Daytona Beach. You can see the waves rolling in. In Orlando today, the forecast hour by hour, we go from 67 degrees at 9 up to 85 by 5 o'clock. So we've got a warm day today. Our typical high this time of year is 81, so we're running about 4 degrees above the normal. If you're going to the beaches today, be careful. The rip current risk is high with a lot of that wave action coming in on a busy easterly flow, a flow which is also bringing some rain to parts of the region. We've got a 20% chance through the day today, and this morning we're catching it on India Atlantic Beach. We've got some showers rolling in right now to the Melbourne area, and that'll be the case through the day day today. Kind of periodic showers coming in, especially in our coastal counties. Not everybody getting wet. If you do, it'll be a real brief shower. Tomorrow, expect more of the same. Maybe some morning fog along the I-75 corridor, and then during the afternoon, another push of some moisture, yielding a 40% chance of some brief scattered showers in Orlando, in Osceola County, and down toward Brevard County as we get into the afternoon for our Saturday. Nothing to cancel plans over. All right, we're tracking this coming up in your full forecast. The latest from the National Hurricane Center, there is a high likelihood that we'll see a system developing in the Western Caribbean inside of the next 7 days. But there are a lot of uncertainties with this specific system, and there is no system out there yet to track. It's a mostly sunny morning here in the Western Caribbean. I'll show you all of the elements contributing to this potential and where it may go, what impacts we might expect here in Florida coming up. All right, let's take a look at our Skyfox traffic this morning with Deborah. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Brooke. So on I-95 southbound, just as you're passing the Bonita Causeway, that crash that I was talking about earlier, they actually kind of moved the camera, and you can actually see, it looks like a car went into like the wooded area here. So that's probably why a lot of these cars are slowing down there on I-95 as you're going southbound in the Melbourne area. So just a heads up, you might notice some slowdowns in that spot. Also seeing some slowdowns this morning in Ocala. So this is actually right on, it looks like Pine Avenue, right as you're approaching Ocala in the city area. So just a heads up there, looks like there might have been a crash in that spot that's closing some of that road down. I-4 though, this is right our Champions Gate camera over to downtown. So Champions Gate, you're seeing almost completely stopped traffic there. And then once you get to the attractions, it looks like things to open back up. My downtown Orlando camera just went down there. So unfortunately, I can't show you what that looks like. But based on some of the other cameras that I've seen, it is going to see a little bit of a slowdown in that spot. Your drive times right now are all over the place. So on I-4 eastbound from US 27 over to downtown, give yourself an extra 33 minutes on your commute. But on the 408 right now, things are looking good. Not too bad. Just a 4-minute delay this morning. All right, ladies, I'll send things back to you.
And we appreciate you, Deb. Brooks as well. Thanks so much. Your time right now is 8:37. A new report shows unemployment claims in Florida dipped last week. That follows a slight increase in claims right after Hurricane Milton. According to the Labor Department, around 8,100 initial jobless claims were filed last week. That is down from nearly 11,000 the prior week. The total for that week was the highest since October of 2022 after Hurricane Ian hit the state. Florida's unemployment rate has stood at 3.3% since April. The state will release October's rate on November 15th.
Well, we will get an extra hour of sleep this weekend because we're going to be falling back an hour.
I'm trying not to smile too broadly about that. It does sound nice, doesn't it? But it may be tough for some people to make that adjustment. Coming up, a local doctor has some advice to keep your sleep schedule on track. And of course, we continue to follow the big breaking story of the morning, a deadly shooting in downtown Orlando. A 17-year-old suspect is in custody. We will continue to bring you all the very latest updates all morning long right here on Good Day Orlando. Stay with us.
Fox 35's Community Calendar is brought to you by these sponsors.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It is 8:44. On the left of your screen, that is a live look outside in downtown Orlando this morning. But on the right of your screen is video from the aftermath of a deadly shooting in downtown Orlando. It happened around 1 o'clock this morning. There is a 17-year-old suspect in custody. We, of course, will stay on top of this breaking news story and bring you updates all morning long right here on Good Day Orlando. Amy?
All right, Danielle, thank you. Daylight saving time is coming to an end this weekend. That means the clocks are going to fall back an hour. Happens about 2 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. A new Talker Research survey of 2,000 people shows most Americans are against daylight saving time. In fact, we voted to get rid of it. 59% say they would opt out if they could. 40% say they dread changing the clocks. The U.S. Senate did pass a measure to make daylight saving time permanent in 2022, but our friends in the House, that is where it died, sadly. Dr. Matthew Knight is joining us right now to talk more about it. He is the president of Knight Dermatology Institute. He's a great doctor, and we're always so happy to have him on the show. Great to see you, Doc.
We're good.
Let's pick one. All right, come on, Congress, you can do it. All right, great to have you. Dr. Matthew Knight, as always, good to see you, my friend. And we're going to send it over to Brooks right now. Brooks, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, it's just one of those things that we wish we can control, but we can't.
No, we can't. I know. Death, taxes, and time, all inevitable. Oh my goodness. So yeah, let's talk about the details of this fallback, this time change. Today, the sunrise happened at 7:38. The sunsets happens at 6:40. But on Sunday, the sun rises earlier at 6:39, which will be good for us here on the morning show. Get to show you some nicer cameras that are a little more illuminated through the morning. But the sun sets at 5:38. Yeah, not great. Man, the delayed wound healing doesn't sound great either. Goodness, get your sleep. Here's a live view from Fox 35 Storm Tracker radar. We've got some showers coming in to Brevard County. These are on a southeast wind off of the Atlantic. And that'll be the case all day today, where we'll have these sort of on and off showers, especially at the coastline and inland, also a 20% chance for rain. But the latest patch moving into Mico and Grant and Valcaria, up through Indy Atlantic Beach, and also Pelican Park and Satellite Beach, and Indian Harbor Beach as well. So here's a look at future clouds and radar. Southeast flow today. Outside chance for a couple of fleeting showers. Don't cancel plans. It'll move out as fast as it moves in. For tomorrow, more of the same, but our Saturday may be featuring after 11 o'clock a slightly higher chance for rain. It's not going to rain all day, just kind of some passing showers. It'll be breezy as well. And as far as the rain chances go for today, look for about a 20% chance overall. At the immediate coastline, maybe a 30% chance from Daytona Beach to Cocoa Beach. Obviously, we're seeing some rain right now in Brevard County. 70 degrees right now in Orlando, 63 degrees at Palm Coast, 58 in Gainesville. Observations for our Fox 35 weather spotters. Gene in Melrose with 62 degrees. Steve Schaefer in Bellevue, 61, and Jeffrey in Deltona started off the day with 66. We're going to warm up today to 84 for Sanford and for DeLand and Deltona. Kissimmee, 84. Melbourne, 83, and Ocala, 84 degrees. Okay, so if you're going to the beach this weekend, rip current risk will remain high. Here's a live view from the Hard Rock Hotel cam. The tide is high right now. It'll be going out all morning long with a low tide shortly before 3 p.m. 3 to 5 foot waves, a high risk for rip currents. That's also the case for Satellite Beach. Well, it's Friday night. It's actually not Friday night. Tomorrow's Friday night. Actually, it is Friday.
It's Friday.
It is Friday. Oh my gosh. Halloween messed me up. We were out trick-or-treating last night till like 9 o'clock, and so when you wake up at 2 in the morning for this shift, it's like, oh, what day is it? It's Friday, and so it's time for our Friday football blitz. Gosh, 78 degrees at 7, 74 degrees at 9. I can't wait for that extra hour of sleep, guys. We're starting to see those diminishing returns by Friday here on the morning shift. All right. Tropical weather outlook. All kidding aside, we've got to watch this area in the Western Caribbean. There's a 70% chance for development. There's also another tropical wave north of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola that has a chance to develop. But the thinking is that these will slowly, possibly merge together, and we have a broad and disorganized system forming as soon as this weekend. It could bring rain to our region here in Florida late next week, maybe. But at this point, there's nothing imminent, and this is a very uncertain forecast. Here's the disturbance right now north of Puerto Rico near the British Virgin Islands and U.S. Virgin Islands. And in the Caribbean, nothing's going on right now at all. The thinking is, though, that with all this hot ocean content, this is the heat content that fuels these things. Once a disturbance moves in, we'll have a possibility of some development. But if it moves into the Gulf, it is likely going to weaken. So it looks like it'll be a rainmaker more than anything else. I'll have more on this coming up in the next half hour at 9 o'clock. We'll take a look at the various scenarios that we may face. So this weekend we fall back on Sunday morning at 2 a.m. for the end of daylight saving time. Election day is on Tuesday, 30% chance of rain. And then we get into a likelihood of rain toward the end of next week with that tropical something that may or may not form. We'll see. All right, that's the latest from the Weather Center. Let's take a look at our Skyfox traffic, a last look at it. Good morning, Deborah.
Hey, good morning, Brooks. So you know what's interesting is usually around this time, my Lake Mary Tower camera is showing a lot of traffic. And look at this. It's just freely flowing this morning. So yeah, I don't know if people maybe just took the day off after Halloween, but traffic-wise, it's not too bad. The 408 cameras, though, this morning are showing also a very similar picture. Not too much backup to even talk about, really. Even at Lake Underhill area, that was looking good. I-4 Champions Gate, you're going to notice some stop traffic in that spot. So that one is, of course, still the same for the morning commute this morning. But taking a look at our drive times right now, I'm not seeing red, so that's good news. Champions Gate to downtown, a 33-minute commute, so only a 10-minute delay this morning. So other than that, have a safe commute. And if you don't have to head out the door, stick around because we still have more news coming up after the break.
Today's Weather Baby is sponsored by attorney Dan Newlin.
Join us for the Fox 35 Feed-a-thon.
Friday, November 8th at this Walmart Supercenter.
Help us fill a truck with food for families in need.
Friday, November 8th.
Welcome back. We continue to follow breaking news this morning. A 17-year-old in custody right now after a mass shooting in downtown Orlando.
2 people are confirmed dead. Several others are injured. It happened early this morning as people were celebrating Halloween. We have live team coverage coming up in our 9 o'clock hour of Good Day Orlando.
The Mission Control Camera is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.